What is going on, everybody? We are live into episode 3 of the Boogie Podcast. We got a short one. Okay, it won't be too long, but still some things unwrapped here. We got Jake with us again, Antonio, and then we got a new one, the GOAT Dad. Look at him, Smikes. Blake should be joining us later on. Maybe he's having some power problems. And yeah, we're gonna get right into this. We're gonna start off with some UFC talk real fast. Okay, it's gonna be quick. We got a kind of a pretty good fight night this weekend. I don't know if you two are aware. It's Costa versus Vettori this weekend.
I didn't know that. I've been looking forward to that fight. I didn't know it was this week.
Yeah, so I just want to hear Jake, Dad, your guys' predictions real fast. Whoever wants to go first.
I think Paulo Costa will smoke him.
Knockout?
I think he'll knock him out.
What round?
I don't know. Well, if Vettori fights and he pushes forward like he has been, like he thinks he can do, I think he'll get knocked out. He said in the interview that both of them push forward, blah, 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 throw hands, all this. So if he really believes that he does that and he comes forward, that's what's going to happen. I'll say, is it a 3-round fight?
5-round, main event.
Oh, wow. It's 5. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say by 3rd round. Yeah.
Jake?
I was actually going to say the same thing. I think round 3 knockout, Costa will wear Vettori down because I think Vittori's kind of overrated in wrestling. I don't think he's that good. He kind of just hugs people. And I think it'll be like a highlight reel knockout, too. It'll be like a top 5 knockout of the year. That's my prediction.
Okay, I think
mainly because I don't like Vettori. But
I think there's 2 ways this fight will go. Either Costa comes out there and he smokes him bad. I think it'll be if he comes out there and he fights, I think it'll be before round 3 because I don't think Vettori's gonna be able to take him down. But if it's the other way, I think this fight could go is Costa comes out there and he poopies to bed and he fights like he did against Izzy and stands there and looks at him. He does a Yell Romero. And if that happens, I think Vettori's going to end up beating him, and then we're going to have a lot of mess on our hands because Vettori's not that good, but then he just beat Costa because Costa's an idiot, and that could come down. Jada just said, I've never seen Jake without a hat.
Well, here's the thing with that. Vettori, he's going to hug him. He learned stuff off of Izzy when he fought him. He talked about that in his podcast, or not his podcast, when he got interviewed by, I can't remember who interviewed him, one of them MMA guys. But anyways, he talked about hugging him and all this stuff that he learned. So I see that playing into it because I don't think he's strong enough to wrestle with Paulo Costa. I think they're going to bang. And if he really believes that he can bang with him, so be it. I think he gets knocked out.
It'd be a fun fight if they bang, though. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go into MLB real fast, and then we'll get into football and good stuff like that. 2 quick things about baseball real fast. Okay, Boston Astros are tonight, my boys. Hey, Red Sox strong. Red Sox Nation, we're bringing it back to Fenway. All right, we're gonna sweep them right here, 3 games straight up. Go ahead and knock them out. Go into the World Series. We'll no problem. Don't care who comes over there. Don't care. Beat them real easy too. And we'll wrap it up. Seriously.
I thought it was 1-1.
It is 1-1. So we're going to win 3 games at home, and then we're going to World Series it. Anyway, Jake, Dad, I want to hear you guys' predictions for tonight. Boston or Astros?
I'll go. So I saw a video saying that Houston's one of the best teams against right-handed or left-handed pitching. And then you guys have, what's his name out there?
Yeah.
Erod, who's not that good. And then Boston's really good against right-handed pitching. And then the guy that Houston's got is not that good either. He's okay. He has better ERA, barely, I think. But so I think this game is going to be very exciting and high-scoring. But I'll take Houston. But Boston has not lost a home playoff game in a long time. They have not lost a playoff game at home in a while. So it's going to be a wild one, but I'll take Houston.
Okay, Dad?
I want everybody to know this. Okay. I am a Yankees fan. This is bad for me to even think about, but I am for Red Sox to win this. I hate Houston. They're a bunch of cheaters. So I think I think Boston will win it tonight. I hope they win the series.
Okay. All right. And then last thing about baseball, Braves jumped on Dodgers 2-0 at home. Big 2 games, both of them walk-offs. Good for the Braves. That's really good. But if we can recall last year, the same thing happened. And then Braves pooped the bed. So my question to Dad and Jake, because I already know Jake's answer, but I want him to elaborate on it, is can the Dodgers do the same thing they did last year? They going to make a comeback? They get 3 games at home, and then they go back to Atlanta for 2. So can the Braves, or not Braves, can the Dodgers make a comeback like they did last year?
I don't think they're going to be able to do it because they've been like this all year. They should have won the division. They didn't win the division. They've been up and down all year. I think it's just the same thing through the playoffs for them. I think they're just going to win a game here and there, but not enough to beat Atlanta. Atlanta's going to end up pulling it out.
Jake?
So the reason I think the Dodgers won last year is because their team, when you got the starters, they're pretty close. The Dodgers are technically a little better, but I don't know why they struggle against Atlanta in the playoffs recently. Even though they won, it was a close series. I think the Dodgers lineup is so much more depth to it that when it gets to the time when you have to use a bunch of relievers and backups, their team is better than the Braves because the Braves don't have as much of an in-depth lineup. But I think the Braves are going to win it in 6 games. Braves in 6. They'll barely pull it out.
Okay, I think Dodgers will not make a comeback, and I think if Dodgers do make a comeback, I think no matter who, if it's the Astros or the Boston, they single-handedly handle Dodgers in the World Series. I don't care who it is. I think Dodgers are overrated, and I think they struggle. And I think they struggle with mediocre to good pitching really bad for some reason. And I will say this too: even though the Dodgers beat the Giants on the road, the Giants kind of sold, and they are struggling on the road really bad. They don't even look like the same team on the road. And I don't think they'll make a comeback because of Braves pitching. As long as Braves can keep their starters going at least 4 to 5 innings, they'll be good. Their bullpen's decent; it's good enough. But I think starting pitching for the Braves is what gets them over, and they got some clutch guys on the lineup. Obviously, as they've had back-to-back walk-offs and all the momentum's on the Braves side. And we were talking about last year that it was crazy that Dodgers made a comeback. It would be even more crazy if it happened 2 years in a row. And
I agree.
And I just think lightning can't strike twice for them. And I think I don't care how good you are, you keep digging yourself in the hole, you're going to bury yourself in there. And I think that's what they did. Well, I want to get into college football. There he is. I was about to say. Yeah! Told you! Woo!
I'm so hungry.
It's all good. We're getting into college football, baby. Your time to shine.
Do you not watch nothing else?
Yeah, he watches NBA.
Okay.
Football and NFL.
NBA and yeah. That's not much baseball, UFC.
Okay.
All righty.
Can't believe you don't watch UFC. I thought everybody watched UFC.
Well, I used to, but I just fell out of it, and I don't even know where to start watching.
Okay, Antonio,
Gotcha.
start with you. Okay, we're going to recap a little bit last week. And I'm going to start with you. This is your team. Okay, it's your team, man. I'm going to let you handle it. I'm going to let you take the floor right here, and we'll let the other ones touch on it. Okay, listen. I'm not going to ask you about the game. I'm not going to ask you about that. Okay, everyone watched it, all right? My question to you is, should Dan Mullen be on the hot seat?
No.
No.
But there's somebody else on that coaching staff that should have been on the hot seat probably like 2 years ago, for like the past 2 years.
Who's that?
And it's Todd Grantham.
Is that offense coordinator?
That's the defense coordinator.
Defense coordinator, okay.
Yeah, Dan Mullen's kind of like the offense coordinator, and like, he calls like the plays. It's like one of those coaches that calls the plays.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been, I don't know what he's doing this year. It's kind of sad, and it's really weird. But unless if they got rid of Todd Grantham and they still doing what they're doing now, then yeah. But like, not right now.
So you think the first move should be to the defensive coordinator, then if it doesn't work, go to the Dan Mullen hot seat kind of question?
Yeah, but I can see how he could be on the hot seat, but I don't think so. I mean, he literally Florida like came off of like, but they're like 3-8 or something. It's something weird. And then we went to like a New Year's Six bowl like the first year he's got there, and we kind of like was going up. You know what I'm saying? And then we're just like nosedive out of nowhere. But
Okay.
I don't know if he has another league. Like if he's doing this next year, then yeah, for sure. But I don't think so right now.
Okay, Dad, Jake.
Go ahead, Jake.
I don't think he should be on the hot seat, but I think people should start questioning him a little bit. I don't know. He's still a good coach, but I think he needs to leave Emory Jones in the past. Isn't that his name?
Yep.
The quarterback. Yeah, I'd leave him in the past. Now you got to start Anthony Richardson, in my opinion, but I wouldn't put him in the hot seat yet.
I think that's the reason why. The only reason like the topic's even getting brung up or even mentioned is just because like the decision he made with the quarterback for so long when it's so obvious he was better. Like I've never watched two quarterbacks play and it be so obvious which one was better out of the two. So I don't know.
He also started Franks over Trask too, by the way.
Yeah. Like if Franks never got hurt, we would have never seen Kyle Trask. So,
It's
Dad.
too early. I think it's just too early to start talking about head coach position, him to be leaving or getting fired or whatever. We see what they do the next few years. That's the way it's going to be. It ain't going to be just because he had a little hiccup here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got a good class coming in now.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You got to see what he's recruiting. How long's he been there? Roughly,
He's on his third year.
I know it ain't been a long time. So, see, that's what I'm saying. Everybody ain't, I don't mean this, but everybody ain't Tennessee, just because 1 year somebody does bad, get rid of the coach, get rid of the coach, get rid of the coach, get rid of the coach. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, I also don't think he should be on the hot seat. But Jay, kind of off topic, Dad, but Jay just said this has nothing to do with sports. But Shrek 4D is closing in Universal. It's kind of funny.
It's closing?
Yeah, it's going down. Shutting it down. That's insane. Okay. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna stay with the coaching topic here, and we're gonna go to LSU. If you didn't hear the news, Coach O and LSU have agreed to move on. Not happening. He's still getting his buyout and everything. He's still getting his $17 million. That's how much they're paying him out. That's insane. Who's gonna be the new coach at LSU? Antonio, who do you think's gonna be?
Oh God. Dude, I have no idea. To be honest, like I have no clue.
Think he'll be a big name?
Maybe from like a Group 6 school or something, but I don't see like any like major like really good coach going there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They got a lot to pick from. You got to think of all these right now in the moment. How many undefeated teams in the lower, schools they are? They got a lot to pick from. Really,
even
think about it.
Even what's his name?
I mean, I don't know their
Cincinnati's
names.
Coach.
Yeah, look there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if he ain't under a big contract, shoot, they can offer him money. He'd run to them.
You can even go up to the. I mean, I thought I was sitting here thinking. I said Mark Stoops, right? Kentucky's head coach. I think that makes a lot of sense. But he's been there forever. But even if you weren't going to go,
and he's been in the SEC.
Yeah, but if you weren't going to go him, I think the best option, in my opinion, right, especially where we're at right now in college football, where if you have a really good offense, you're doing good.
Yeah,
is Joe Brady, assistant coach, okay, best offensive coordinator probably, right, in the whole ever, right? Not ever, but right now currently. I mean, I know he's assistant coach in the NFL right now for the Panthers, but he already was the offensive coordinator once for LSU when they won it in 2019. So he's already been there once. Bring him back down, pay him a bunch of money. You already know what he can do. You could argue the whole reason they won that national championship was because of Joe Burrow and Joe Brady. So, bring him down, get him a contract, get him hired, get him there. He's already been there. Everyone loves him. I think that probably makes the most sense. And then Mark Stoops, in my opinion. So,
that makes sense, but think about who's wanting to leave Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you got Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you throw that out there because don't a lot of coaches come from Alabama. That's how they get their start.
Yeah. I mean,
Everybody wants them.
like I don't even know who UTSA's coach is, but
No,
I think I watched a whenever retard got fired down at USC, I watched a very good point, and it was like people you need to call and make them say no to you, and just give them a call.
Yeah.
And I think LSU should do the same thing. I think they should call Dabo Swinney. I think they should call Urban Meyer. I think they should call Joe Brady. I think they should call all these big names, even though there's a low chance. Make them say no to you.
Right there's another name. Urban Meyer.
Yeah, and you could just you get them to say no, because when they're looking at that money, you look at whatever someone's paying them, you 1/2 times that money, put that in their face saying, come to LSU and be our head coach and we'll pay you X amount of dollars. You get them there, say 4 years, something short where they're not committed, then make them say no. Then if they say no, you move on to the next person, big name. Okay, I think another guy you can go look at is Brent Venables. I mean, there's plenty of people you can go look at to try to go get money.
Yeah, but he getting paid by Clemson.
Yeah, well, everyone's getting paid, and he's getting paid. He's the highest paid assistant coach, but you can still.
He ain't going nowhere. I don't think he'll go anywhere.
Well, okay, let's say I don't know how much Brent Venables makes, but let's say if he makes $8 million, right?
Okay.
A year, okay, and then let's say LSU comes in there and goes, "We'll pay you $20 million a year, and you get your own team at LSU in the SEC." Say no to us. What is he gonna say? I'm not saying they're gonna pay him $20 million a year, but it wouldn't shock me.
Well, no, I agree. They're gonna give him more money, definitely, to be a head coach. But
yeah, especially it also makes sense with the kind of like, I don't want to say the decline because it's just 1 year and those are my boys.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know
they don't look too hot right now.
No, they don't. But Urban Meyer is one I'd be thinking about more so. The more I sit here and think about it, be them or be him, because he's in a little trouble in the NFL. Does college want him? Anybody? Does the colleges want him back? They know what he's about. They know who he is, all that. So I don't know if the college wants to deal with that until that blows over. And plus, I don't get him. He comes up, he's got this. What's wrong with him? He's got some kind of heart.
He got like a tumor or something.
Yeah. And then he goes out for a year or two, and then he goes Jacksonville and goes coaches. He leaves. I don't get it. I don't get how. Anyways, I guess that's another topic. But
he's done that to like many teams.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Ohio State, Florida. I mean,
the only reason I don't think it'll be Urban Meyer is because I think if Urban Meyer was looking to coach somewhere else, I think USC would have been the perfect fit for him. And the fact he didn't go there, I just don't really see him going to LSU. I think he's probably going to stick it out with Jacksonville. I'm not saying that he's going to be there after this year. I'm just saying I think Jacksonville will be the last team he coaches. I don't see him going anywhere else. Now that could be 2 more weeks, or that could be 7 more years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right, we're gonna move on here. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a big question. Okay, big one, and I don't even have an answer in my brain yet, so I'm gonna let you guys talk about it. We'll go Jake first. You've been the quietest. We're gonna go with you first.
Okay.
Give me your Heisman favorite right now. Good question.
Yeah.
I would probably say Bryce Young, Heisman favorite right now. I know they just lost, but he's playing very well on a really good team still, so I would say he's still my favorite.
Yeah.
It was Spencer Rattler before the season, but poor guy, he fell off. So I guess Bryce Young.
Yeah, Antonio?
I'll go Matt Corral.
Okay. You're gonna go Matt Corral. Dad?
I'm like Jake. The Rattler was the favorite first year. Of course, that's went to pot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up in the air. They ain't nobody.
No, nobody has really showed that.
Nobody.
Yeah.
If they had to do it, stop it right now and pick somebody. I don't know who they'd pick. Who would they pick?
I think it's probably Bryce Young right now.
Probably.
I think someone if they end up getting enough time, I don't know how much, I mean, they're coming in late and stuff, but if they can make up for it, I think Caleb Williams. I think if he would have started off at the year, I think he would be a Heisman favorite right now. I think with him,
I'd pick him for next year.
Yeah, him as quarterback looks like the Oklahoma we expected. And I think another sleeper, especially if Cincinnati stays undefeated and does all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
is their quarterback.
Yeah, their quarterback
Ritter. Yeah,
I bet if they do a thing right now, I'd say he's up there with them.
he is.
Now,
he's
on
like top
TV.
4. And what really sucks, I hate it for Ben J. Robinson. He's Texas's running back. He's really good. I hate it that he plays for Texas because he won't be able to win there. But
no, he won't. What's the Alabama's quarterback? What is he? A junior? No, I know,
he's
but
a sophomore. He's same as DJ.
I don't think they'll give it to him. I think if you just go on, it's up in the air, and
I think that's why Matt Corral has a
Corral,
good shot too, because he's a junior.
I do too. I think they'll say, okay, like they've always have in the past. Most of the time in the past, they said, oh, he's a sophomore. Let's let him. He's going to play another year. If he's that good, he'll be that good next year. There you go. He'll win it next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there ain't nobody standing out.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody going to stand out yet for next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Final question to rack up the recap here. Okay. We had Wake Forest, who won. I believe they won. I think it wasn't by that much though. They barely won, right?
They won.
You
Yep.
had Clemson barely beating Syracuse. And then you had Pitt absolutely dominating. And you had NC State, who absolutely dominated Boston College, which was really impressive. So even though it doesn't really matter, okay, I'm actually going to change this question. I have wrote down in this paper. I have ACC favorite. I don't want to answer that question. Me and Antonio were talking about this in class today, and I'm going to ask you guys this. Okay, think about it in your brain, because when I first tell you this, you're going to be like, I mean, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. If this happens, okay? But I want you to think about this, because my answer is no. I don't think they will. My question is, an undefeated ACC champion beat everybody in front of them, Wake Forest team, do they make the playoffs? A 13-0 ACC champion, Wake Forest team, are they in the playoffs?
I would say no, probably because the resume won't be good enough compared to a lot of other teams that would be one loss or no loss. And they beat actually decent teams, but Wake Forest won't have to beat many people to get in. So.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Dad?
Yep. Same here. They just don't have they didn't play the teams that they needed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's why there's also a big thing that we need to expand the playoffs. Is because if you change Wake Forest's name to Clemson, and they did the exact same thing, the exact same schedule, the exact same points, with the exact same way, they would be in the playoffs. They'd be number 2 right now in the country.
Yes.
But Wake Forest is 6th team just because their name's Wake Forest.
Right.
And I think that's another reason we could expand the playoffs, because some of these teams, you really don't know how good they are until you get them in there. People like Wake Forest, okay, like, even though, you can go out and schedule out-of-conference opponents if you're Wake Forest, right? But you can only do so much. Your conference has to be good around you. You can only play the people in front of you. So, I think
that and where they started at the first year, they weren't ranked. Who knows where they got 100?
Preseason expectations. That's the only reason they're not.
And that hurt.
Yeah. And another thing is the reason why I definitely don't think they'll make the playoffs, because we'll say you have an SEC. Another thing, really quick, I just want to throw this out there. There's a legit shot that Alabama doesn't make the playoffs this year. They lose to Georgia in the SEC championship. It's 2 losses. They're not going to make it. So, I mean, that's something crazy to think about. But you'll have, let's say you got Georgia undefeated as SEC champions. That's your 1 seed, right? Your 2 seed Cincinnati, or 3 seed, whatever, American champion, undefeated. Your 3 seed or 2 seed Oklahoma, undefeated, Big 12 champions, right? And you get your 4 seed. What's that going to be? Either a 1 or undefeated Big 10 champion? I mean, it ain't going to be Wake Forest, right? Do you think an undefeated ACC champion, Wake Forest, gets in over an Ohio State team who won the Big 10 and their only loss was to Oregon?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's just a hard question to answer. But
it is. It's Yeah, it ain't late enough in the season yet, I guess.
No,
Maybe.
we'll see. But I think what also hurts right now is Wake Forest is what? They're 7-0, I think, 6-0. They might have had a bye
6-0.
week, something like that, right? And they're ranked 16th in the country. That hurts
They're
them
ranked-
bad. 16th.
They're ranked. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, that's what I thought. 15, 16.
Yeah, so that hurts them. But all right, go ahead.
Wait. Can I touch on your what is it? Your Clemson and Wake Forest thing?
Yeah,
Like Clemson, the reason why they get that respect is because of what they built up, right? Because you can sit there and name like 3 coaches from like Clemson's coaching staff, right? But like I don't even know who the starting quarterback is or the running back or anybody from Wake Forest.
I don't either.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Like
either.
Clemson like constantly proved themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they also brought in talent, like
Yeah, when we
10 5-stars per class.
Yeah, when we talked about when me and Dad said your preseason expectations, you earned that. And I
Yeah.
think something, as much as you think, you only say, well, it should only matter what happens this year. Well, there's not enough playoff spots for it to only matter what happens this year. You don't play enough games, you don't play enough people. So, yeah, I think I agree with you, Antonio, that you earned those preseason expectations, and Wake Forest hasn't.
And they're also not blowing people out by like 30 either.
No. The only team that done that is Pitt. The only close game they've had is, the one they lost, and the one where they went to Neyland and played Tennessee. So, I mean, okay, we're going to go into the NFL now. That's it for college football. College football got a little slow week coming up, which is fine because, we're going to start getting into Big Ten's about to go crazy. After this week, Big Ten goes crazy because you got Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, all those games coming together. All 3 of them got to play each other. So, so let's go into the NFL. Okay, I was listening to the radio this morning, and that's what brought up this question. I listen to the radio every morning. I listen to ESPN, Tri-Cities, whatever it's called. And they brought up a question, and it's and their question was, who's the best player in the NFL right now? Right now, as we speak, who's the best player in the NFL? And all of them have the same answer. And I was thinking, and I was like, that answer would never came into my brain, but it makes a lot of sense.
At Stafford.
You think it's Matthew Stafford?
Probably.
Okay. Jake?
The best player?
Yep, best player.
Right now, for my money, it's either Tom Brady or Kyler Murray, probably.
See, neither of you have answered what they've answered yet. So I'm going to let...
Did they
I
answer
forgot about
Donald?
Kyler.
What?
Did they answer Aaron Donald?
Nope. Not a defensive
Okay,
player.
that's like one of the best defensive players. It's not a defensive player?
Nope. Antonio?
Probably Josh Allen or Tom Brady or Kyler Murray.
Their answer was Lamar Jackson. Right now.
Oh, wait a minute.
But the
Right
reason
now.
why... And they...
Yeah, freak.
And as Jake, me and you both don't like Lamar Jackson. But they are 100%...
No, not like him, but...
Okay, I don't like Lamar Jackson. But 100% they are right. And I'm going to stand by that, and I'm going to tell you why. He has nobody on that team. He has Mark Andrews, and Marquise Brown. Those are his 4 players on there, right? And him. And they are 5-1, I think, right? 5-1 or 4-1? They're 5-1, right?
Yeah.
They just blew out somebody. Who'd they even play?
Chargers?
They just
Chargers,
blew
dude.
out the
That
Chargers
was-
single-handedly. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying maybe next week he won't be the best player. The week before he might not. But as we speak right now, the best player in the NFL is Lamar Jackson. And that was all their answers. And they were letting people come in and try to disagree with them. And everyone who came in, okay, let me ask you this question, okay? Dad's answer was Matthew Stafford, right? Let's swap Lamar Jackson and Matthew Stafford right now, okay? What's the Ravens' record?
2-3 at best.
2-3 at best.
Yeah,
I would say around 2 and 3.
Yeah, and imagine if Lamar Jackson was on the Rams.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and they also bring up a good question. They said if Lamar Jackson was playing great, Ravens would be 3-3. That's how good they've been. That's how good Lamar Jackson's been. They have so many. Like they literally do not have a running back that's like NFL caliber. There's college running.
They all got hurt.
Yeah, there's college running backs running around right now that could easily, like, start for them. It's crazy, but that was something I wanted to bring up because I heard that this morning.
Well, if you look at his stats, I mean, his running stats save him. His rushing is the only reason he's in that conversation. Because in passing, I just looked it up. He's doing fine, but he has 9 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions, and his QBR is still the 7th best.
Yeah.
But it's his run. If he couldn't run the ball like that, he would have been out of the league a long time ago.
Yeah.
He can throw the ball now, but he doesn't really impress me when he throws the ball. But he's gotten a lot better. He's definitely a top quarterback because he can run the ball so well. He's like top 10 in rushing yards, which is pretty ridiculous.
But imagine if he had wide receivers. How much better his throwing stats would be. Like
yeah.
He has one wide receiver who would be a wide receiver 2 on most teams. Maybe even a wide receiver 3. Like, I like Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown's hands are kind of just like, they're not that great. He drops the ball.
He's not that good. He's just not that good. He was good
He
in
gets
college.
open, but he can't catch the ball.
Yeah. So imagine if he had imagine if he played for I don't know, just imagine if he had a stud at wide receiver. Just one stud. And Marquise Brown and Matt Andrews. Then his passing stats would be so much better. So I hate Lamar Jackson the most in this party. But I think it's just crazy what he's doing. I think that's insane.
Well, they're gonna fall apart because the NFL teams are gonna key on him. They're gonna know. It's like you said. There's not enough star power on the team.
Yeah.
To keep winning that way. First of all, and unless the rest of the NFL is just dumb when they come to playing them, they're going to start keying on him and shutting down Mark Andrews and him. And what little bit Marquise Brown shows up when he does, he's off and on. He ain't all the time. Everybody knows that. He ain't nothing like he used to be. So, or what he was. So, I'd say that's going to go to the wayside. And if they do make the playoffs, they're not going to go very far. So.
Yeah, and you look at how they've beaten teams. The Raiders beat them week 1 in a crazy overtime game that Lamar threw and fumbled 2 or 3 times that game. Then they beat the Chiefs, great win, but the Chiefs are kind of mid this year, I think. And they barely beat the Lions by the longest field goal in NFL history that doinked off the bottom thing on the uprights, and it went in. Craziest field goal of all time. Then they had barely beat the Colts in overtime after being down. That was Lamar Jackson's big game. But then they come and beat the Chargers. That's the best. That's a great win right there because the Chargers are pretty good. Might have to pump the brakes on the Chargers a little bit. They were really good, but that was weird. They had an off day and Lamar just played out of his mind. So I don't know. They will probably make the playoffs, but they're not. They can't beat anybody.
If he gets hurt,
it's over.
Done.
Yeah.
Well, the Ravens aren't that good. Lamar Jackson, he's one of the best players in the league. I will say that. But their team is barely scraped by some wins against some pretty bad teams this year. But Lamar Jackson is definitely top. He's a big MVP candidate. I'll agree with that. But it's just their team's not.
That's right now, though.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, right now. By the end of the season, it's Kyler Murray, in my opinion. They'll give it to Tom Brady, I think.
Okay,
he might break the single season passing touchdown record, so they'll give it to Tom Brady.
That helps. Yeah.
All right. Another question. Okay, there's some debate around this one. It's still early, but let's say if they stop the league right now, who would be your rookie of the year? If you got the vote,
I would say. Okay, sorry.
If you had the vote, who would your vote go in for?
I would say. Wait, we're doing offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, offensive rookie of the year.
Or defensive? Oh, offensive. I would say Najee Harris or Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same answer.
Yeah. If you had to pick,
probably Najee actually.
Yeah, it's probably Najee. No, I need
Jamar probably Najee.
Okay.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, Jamar's really good.
Talks about Najee Harris. He's on my fantasy team, man, and he is good week in and week out. It's insane.
I would say it's because Ben Roethlisberger is trash.
Yes.
And now they realize he cannot throw the ball. So now you have to barely give it to Najee Harris or dump it off to Deontay Johnson for 3 yards and let them two run. He cannot throw the deep ball anymore. So now you're going to have Najee getting his stats padded big time. He's also a good player. Like he would have good stats regardless, but he's gonna have a big year. He'll be a good running back, I think. Mainly because Ben Roethlisberger's kind of trash.
Yeah. Dad, you think Najee?
Yeah, because he's on Pittsburgh's reason why you're not hearing nothing from him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I just feel so bad for him because he's getting no love from anybody. If you ask any of the ESPN people, they're like, "Oh, Jamar Chase," or Matt Jones. Like, dude, Najee's doing the best. I bet you Najee Harris has better receiving stats than Jamar Chase does right now.
Whoa.
I don't know, dude.
I bet
Jamar
he
Chase
does.
is really good, deep threat, dude.
I bet he does.
Like if you want to go by total yards, because they dump it off to Najee, he runs, and then might have more yards, but receiving talent. I mean, it's obviously Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
but
receiving talent. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like pure stats.
Okay.
Pure stats, pure numbers.
Stats maybe because they literally just give him the ball. I'd rather play.
Yeah.
Najee carries them right now, and Deontay Johnson, maybe Chase Claypool a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's overrated too, but
Okay. Cardinals or the Rams in the NFC West? Who's going to come out of there at number 1?
I'll go first, I guess. So last year, the Cardinals they did a similar thing they did this year, where they start off the season pretty hot, and they're like one of those teams, like, oh wow, we should watch out for them. But they fell apart and went 8-8, I think.
Yeah.
So if they could keep it together this year, I would say the Cardinals. Plus, they just beat the Rams too, and Matt Stafford has not looked as good since the first couple weeks. He's still really good, but he hasn't looked as good. I would take the Cardinals in that game. They look pretty unstoppable right now. If they keep it together.
What about you guys?
I'm gonna say Cardinals. I'm gonna say Cardinals right now. Right now, yeah. Now, do they play again?
Cardinals and the Rams.
You have to play again, yeah.
Yeah, they'll play
They play
twice.
again, right?
Yep.
They play twice.
Yeah.
Now, if they split that, what's going to happen?
It goes by.
They both go undefeated the rest of the year, and they split.
And that's their only losses are each other.
Yeah.
Is it whoever beat each other by more?
Is that what
Might
they
be.
go by? I can't.
It might be.
Can't remember.
Well,
I don't know.
I
think I like Matt Stafford. I've always liked Matt Stafford ever since he was at Detroit. I always thought he'd just get a team around him. He could do good. He's always threw the ball, so I'm gonna lean towards him because I like. I'm gonna say Rams. It could go either way though.
okay, Antonio.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. But Jake had a good point. But also the Cardinals are a lot different this year.
Yeah, I agree with Jake when he said they fell apart. But also, this Cardinal team has a lot different feel than the one last year did. Everyone, even as good as the Cardinals were doing last year, I think no one was like, this team is like Super Bowl favorites. Where this Cardinals team is like Super Bowl favorites. So.
And also, Kyler Murray is pretty injury prone too. So if he can stay healthy most of the year, they'll be fine. But he does have issues because he's running all over the field like a madman the entire game and throwing 50-yard passes the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I was talking about Super Bowl favorites, which leads me to my final question: what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Well, to start, my preseason was Browns, which I feel very dumb about now because they are not looking too hot, which is shocking, I think. Because we said the Titans, like the last podcast, were the most disappointing. I would say it's the Browns now.
Yeah, I think it's
and
the
the Cardinals blew them out.
Yep.
And the Browns are supposed to have this great defense. And the Cardinals' offense is top 2 with them and the Cowboys, in my opinion, right now. And then the Buccaneers are up there. But it's and Baker's hurt. And then you got Odell Beckham Jr. is kind of trash, too. And then Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are both kind of dinged up. So, yeah. But anyways, I would say it's my favorite right now. It's still the Buccaneers, probably. I know that's kind of because they barely beat the Patriots and stuff. But if Tom Brady makes the playoffs, it's going to be very hard to beat him. So I'd still say it's the Buccaneers or Cardinals.
Yeah.
I'd throw the Cardinals in there.
Yep. Buccaneers. Right now.
I got the Bucs. I think the Bills will make the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And lose to Tom Brady.
Okay, are the Bucs and the Cardinals on the same side?
Yeah.
And then the Bills are on the other side, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Bills are AFC.
I think it'll be Bills, and I think Tom Brady and the Bucs will actually lose in the playoffs this year. And I don't even think they'll make the championship in their division. I think they'll lose is there 2 rounds before the championship, right? Yeah.
It depends. So most teams have to play a wild card, then they'll go to the divisional. So yeah, and then the championship game.
I think they'll either.
So if say the Bucks are hold on, sorry. Say the Bucks are like the 1 seed, they would just have to play 2.
Okay.
Not 3, but yeah.
I think they'll lose before they make it to the championship, and I think the Cardinals will be in the Super Bowl, and I think it'll be Bills and Cardinals, and I think it's Cardinals' year. I don't know what side's Dallas on. Are they on the Bucs side?
Dallas is NFC too. Dallas might have to play one of them.
Yeah. See, so maybe it might be Cardinals and Dallas, or it could be
and Rams. Rams are NFC. They're kind of loaded right now. NFC is big loaded.
Bills are so lucky they're on that side by themselves.
The AFC is because the Chiefs are not that great, and the Browns. It's a down year for AFC.
Yeah, so it's literally going to be Bills.
Too early.
Yeah, the only way is if the Jags step it up. So, you got Bills.
Wow.
Not just playing. You got Bills, right, and then you got Bucks, Cardinals, Dallas. I think those are your 3 answers.
Yeah,
and Rams. So it could be one of those 4. If I had to pick one of those 4,
it's really close.
I'm just gonna go Cardinals just because they're the best team right now out of those 4. So I'm gonna go Cardinals versus Bills. I think whoever comes, see, it makes sense to say whoever comes out of those 4 is gonna win it. But there's something in there. It's like Hunter picked the Bills. Right?
I'm gonna say if Gronk comes back, that helps them out tremendously. But right now, Dallas is finding a way to win. They're finding a way to win.
I think what's going to be Dallas's downfall is their head coach. I think that's going to be a downfall.
Yeah.
You think
Mike
he'll
McCarthy?
Be in the way?
Yeah.
He's been in the way already in multiple games this year.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to win a lot of these games because of him.
Yeah. So I'll go to final answer. I'm gonna go to Cardinals.
Okay.
All right, our first NBA question and our last question of the podcast. Something a little simple right here before the NBA season kicks off. Okay, who is your preseason NBA champion pick? I'm gonna start it off.
I guess
King James, baby, LeBron, the Lakers, the GOAT. Getting another ring. Put it on him.
He definitely ain't the GOAT, but we'll say whatever.
He's the GOAT.
He may be in your time, but not in my time. He ain't.
But yeah, I think Lakers will win it again. They got Kyrie, they got LeBron, they got AD.
Huh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Lakers don't have Kyrie.
Lakers ain't got Kyrie.
Who is it then? Who
Kyrie.
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they got Russell Westbrook, LeBron, AD.
Who has been sucking.
They're building themselves a dream team, man. They don't need no one else.
I would
give
say
you credit.
Brooklyn Nets.
Actually,
Listen, I gotta say
it's
something.
third time.
I gotta say
It's
something.
third time. Everybody healthy. Brooklyn will come out on this one.
They got Kevin Durant, James Harden, and if Kyrie comes back, I mean that's I'd like that more than Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Personally, because Russell Westbrook, he's kind of a solo act player. When he's on his own, he'll drop a triple double every night. He's very good, but we've never seen him with a team. He couldn't win with Kevin Durant, and that's why Kevin Durant left. Plus, he went to Golden State.
Well, Kevin Durant was
easy ring, but
this last year he was there. He choked so bad. They both did.
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't watch enough to know all that, but
hold on. The reason why I trust LeBron and the Lakers more than KD and the Nets is because history shows LeBron's a winner and KD is a loser. That's just
You're a loser.
KD's a loser.
You're a loser.
It doesn't matter how good he is, he's a loser.
Hunter,
Facts.
A loser, bro. Kevin Durant's a loser.
He's a loser.
no,
bro. He's like 3-0 in the finals, dog. What you mean he's a loser?
How many?
LeBron James is a losing record in the finals. He's been there a lot, but he's lost more and he's won.
I got my pick.
Okay.
I want to go with the Bucks so bad. I do. But they also won in overtime in Game 7 without Kyrie Irving. And also, Kevin Durant's foot got in the way too.
A centimeter of his shoe touched the line and they lost because of it.
Yes. It was crazy.
So,
but and then,
luck a little bit.
Also with Brooklyn, I think there's just too much drama there. And LeBron didn't win last year, so he's pissed off.
First round exit.
And then they brought in like that extra. I think Westbrook, if he has like he's never been like around like that, like a team like that before. Like he's played with all-stars, but he hasn't played with like a team like that. And I think he'll get it figured out. And I would pick the Nets, but I think there's too much drama there, so I'm going to Lakers.
Okay, so I'm going Lakers. Antonio's going Lakers. Dad and Jake are going the Nets.
That or Golden State. If everybody's healthy, they come back.
Okay,
Just
a little bit of a sleeper pick there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
they just need a big man. To me, they lack a big man, but that's that point.
James Wiseman should improve though.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, that wraps it up. Shorter one than usual, but there isn't a lot to talk about right now. So that wraps it up. I appreciate you three joining. Dad, hopefully we can have you on more if you want to come back.
Sure.
I appreciate it, fellas. Everyone, say bye.